These storms are coming at a time when we're already grappling with some of the most destructive weather we've ever seen.
Trouble, trouble, trouble.
This morning we woke up, looked at the weather forecast, and saw a beautiful sunny day for us today here while we're at Vancouver. However, beyond that, we have storms.
Trouble, trouble, trouble.
Especially as we were planning to make our passage across the Strait of Georgia and then through the San Juans through the Strait of Fuca. We're looking at our schedule. What do we do to have the safest, easiest passage across these areas to get back? It looks like we're going to have to leave Vancouver today, get down to Point Roberts tonight, check our weather again when we're at Point Roberts. So we're going to try to avoid the big winds and the big rain during our passage to head down to Friday Harbor.
Trouble, 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 yeah.
Welcome to the beautiful Pacific Northwest. We're Ingrid and Jim, a couple seeking new adventures aboard our 37-foot sailboat, Indigo.
Goodbye, Vancouver. It was short and sweet.
The nearest port from Vancouver to check into the United States is Point Roberts, a 40 nautical mile passage to the south. This also takes us 6 nautical miles west into the central Strait of Georgia to avoid the shallow tidal banks from the Fraser River. Knowing firsthand how rough the Strait of Georgia can get, we have to take advantage of this last sunny and calm day before the parade of storms arrives, which it does just as we reach our destination. We've arrived at Point Roberts and we're just getting the boat ready to dock. First stop is the customs dock. We've never checked into the US before from our boat, so this is going to be a new experience for us. Then we need to find our slip, and then it's checking the weather to see what is going to happen tomorrow, and that'll determine what time we're going to leave in the morning from here. Let's talk about customs.
Well, it was quite the ordeal. We should have gone online and filled out this app, which we didn't know about. Would have saved us probably about 45 minutes. We had to talk to multiple people, give them our information over the phone, and then they came down and needed to confirm the passports. I was expecting them to come on board. They didn't, which is fine either way, but next time we'll
do the app next time.
Yeah, apparently that's the easy way to do it. So we're back in the US and looking forward to a few more days before we get home.
Until next time.
We're back in the US.
Yes.
Cheers.
Wait. Okay, now we can cheers.
Cheers.
Now we're looking at the weather.
Oh.
We have to make a decision as to when we're going to cross the Strait of Georgia from Point Roberts and get back down into the San Juan Islands. We just departed Point Roberts and it is pouring down rain. We happened to hit it right when we got a big shower, but we kind of have a schedule to meet our currents and we know what the forecast is for the radar. A little further in on our passage. Should take us 4 hours and 35 minutes to get over to Friday Harbor. So we'll see what happens. foot anchored in the drenched outside putting away lines and fenders. Oh, I feel bad for her. How was that?
Wet.
So we made it back just fine. Once we got out of the big swell outside of Point Roberts, we didn't really run into much more rain, no more swell. We even caught a few sunbreaks. We docked here for the night, and as soon as we got here, who should we see but our old friends from Lucky Dog. We knew that they were going to be somewhere in the San Juans during the time that we were heading back. Had no idea they were going to be here in Friday Harbor. This morning, we're going to try to head across the Strait of Fuca to Port Townsend and buddy boat with Lucky Dog. So we're going to see if we can miss the thunderstorms and make it hopefully into Port Townsend somewhere around 4 o'clock around slack, and we'll see how this goes. Should be a good day.
Trouble, trouble, trouble.
Got Lucky Dog up ahead of us, 21 knots of wind right on the nose, and about half a knot of current against us as we're coming out through San Juan Channel. This might be the toughest part coming out, but at least we have no rain at the moment.
For the most part, we've avoided trouble by timing our passages between the worst of the weather fronts coming in, except for today. Winds were only forecast for 15 knots. We've seen 20, 25, 30, and gusts even higher, directly on the nose. On top of that, we're headed into 10-foot swell every 3 to 4 seconds, and our little boat is just taking a pounding. Lucky Dog is experiencing the same thing. And things were about to get worse.
Why didn't we stop? We have to drive back up.
We ran into a huge clump of kelp, and it got caught around our keel. I was worried it was going to get caught in the prop. It was also slowing us down so that we could barely go anywhere. So we had to back up the boat, see if we could get the kelp off of the keel, which it did, and then we were able to head back on our way. But the one thing we learned was that we should not be heading over the shallower areas because those are full of kelp beds. So we made a detour, and now we are headed back into Admiralty Inlet in about 26 knots of wind, and it has been quite the passage.
After sailing for nearly a month, over 500 nautical miles, exploring the coasts of British Columbia, we anticipate our arrival home to Puget Sound. Anticipation is powerful. It's exciting and scary. It's what drives us forward to achieve new things, to succeed, to get home, and to depart again on new and exciting adventures ahead.